right, on page 59 and 60, this is where the personality traits, temperament, and all those kinds of things fall in. And there are 5 different kind of personality traits, and there's a description of all 5 in the book. If I were you, I'd want to be aware of those, not only because it's some of the material in the class, but also for the fact that you'll be able to recognize these types of students in your classroom. I know No Child Left Behind talks about one of the purposes is to make everybody equal and the same, and that means if you walk into a 5th grade classroom, everybody will be working on 5th grade level. But a key point that we have to remember is the personality differences. And so a couple of the key things on page 60 that I thought was worth mentioning was when the book stated children are more likely to succeed at school when there is a goodness of fit rather than a mismatch between that natural inclination and typical behavior on the one hand and classroom activities and expectations on the other. I don't know how I feel about that particular statement, and I'll explain what I mean in just a second. For example, an example in the book that was given was when teachers want students to participate actively in whole class discussions, highly energetic, outgoing children are apt to shine. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. But quieter students might feel anxious or intimidated, and if teachers are not very careful, they'll tend to only pick the kids who shine, and the other kids will stay hidden in the classroom, never to have to say anything, so they'll just patiently wait on those who wanted to talk so much to talk. When teachers require a lot of independent seat work, quieter children often do well, but some energetic children may be viewed as disruptive because sitting there is very difficult. I think as teachers we need to find a happy medium. You've been taken part in a little bit of the live clickers. Since we don't have lecture classes, that's a little more difficult to do, even though you are responding as you would through text instead of standing in the classroom. But I remember the first is every semester when I do the live clickers, you're hesitant about participating. Some of you are even uncomfortable. You have that deer in the headlights. But what I've found every semester, by the time the semester ends, I don't even have to call the live clickers because there's so much discussion happening. You are comfortable enough. This area is another place where I'm concerned with all the media, social networking, and all of that students are accustomed to using. I can see oral communication skills suffering because we're so used to texting. We really don't want to be apart. I remember growing up, I was believe it or not, I was a bit of a shy child, and in certain places and certain situations at school, I was very quiet. Now, you never know that now by the way I teach. You would think that I've always been outgoing. I think about my own children. My middle child, Hannah, was always very shy growing up, especially when she was smaller. She has now come out of that stage so much, and I'm wondering if maybe, it's that encouragement. Do you do every activity where it's actively kids moving around and talking and having to do things? No, but I think a good combination of each would go a long way. Stop the movie and tell me what you think.